Message me in a minute.
That's what I'm about to do. Shit is here on Facebook.
Send it out to Patreon. Yep. Got it. Live stream in 10 minutes. 10-minute countdown.
Oh.
Alright. You want to record some Patreons though, real quick? For this episode? Just go ahead and knock it out. Alright, cool. People will join us, that's really good. Hey folks, this is your host Brandon Collins.
Guys, and it's Justin Brown.
And before we get to this exhilarating episode of the Black Klansman,
I love exhilarating. That's a good word,
man,
man.
yeah, you know, I've been reading the dictionary a lot.
Well, you've been in jail?
Don't worry about what I be doing. But we got a few Patriots, Justin.
Ooh, yes we do.
So that means you gotta call your boy Idris over.
Oh boy. Idris, come on in here. Oh, you gotta go get Idris. Sometimes I have to hang over here in the corner. Give me a second.
Big guy, he's a collar.
Hi Brandon, how are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm good, Idris. How are you?
I'm doing very well, very well. So I'm just here, to read my normal thing. So, all right. So who do we have?
A lot of these are just names, first names.
All right. Well, Bridget, you are quite the woman, so much so that you name yourself just Bridget. No last night. You're like Prince. So, welcome to being the Patriot. Thank you.
Okay. Next we have Hiroja Sheeb's Space Odyssey Network.
Hiroja Sheep, Space Odyssey Network. You're a person of space, and I also once went to space in Prometheus. Thank you for being a patriot.
We also have Amir.
Amir, a good friend I've known named Amir. Now you're one of my good friends. As a patriot, thank you.
And then lastly we have Juan.
One, you'll have won today by becoming a patriot. Welcome, all of you, to Patronage. Thank you. Oh, I'll have to run. I told Justin to hang out in the car really quick because, I have a call from the outside. I'll be right. I just will be back. Man, fucking Idris always has me doing favors for this nigga. He act like he ain't got money, man. He act like he ain't got money.
One day we're gonna get Idris Elba really on the air. And it's gonna be that's when you're gonna know we made it. When we finally get him on.
That's when we're gonna realize that I'm gonna lose my fucking mind because I'm gonna be so crazy trying to fucking mimic his voice when he's sitting right here and doing it in front of him.
In front of him?
In front of him.
You didn't say that right. You're confusing my mind.
What?
Nothing.
I'd be trying to mimic his voice in front of him.
Alright, folks. Enjoy this episode. Get out of here with mine.
That's right, guys. You got to even see us record some of our ridiculousness that we plug into episodes. This is just crazy medium popcorn shit, y'all.
We're going to be getting started in like 5 minutes with our Black Klansman review.
Baby.
Got 6 people in the chat.
Oh, yeah, y'all in the chat.
Two of that. I mean, None of y'all in the chat right now. We got 6 people watching.
Nigga.
Technically, you have 2 jobs, but you have 1 job to do it right now.
What's up, nigga?
What's wrong with you?
Listen, nigga, don't come for me, man. Don't come for me, okay?
Justin.
don't come for me,
Don't push me
Brandon.
to the edge or you want to bite me.
Brandon. Why would I not want to push it to the edge and want to fight you? Like I'm gonna lose.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
I'm pretty sure I know what you're capable of. Screaming like a little girl.
You've never seen me in action. So we lost half our viewership because you signed off.
You know what, Brandon? I just want to tell you that you need to sit on your face. In your own face, not mine.
You even signed out our own video.
Oh, God.
Is that watching the YouTube channel right now?
What's that? This one?
Is that on the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
So literally the 3 people watching are you and me and that. We lost only 3 external viewers. we lost only people watching.
You know what, Brandon?
That was down to 2. Why is it looking at the Red Bull?
Huh? I had to fix it, man. I had to fix it. Did you have me? You're fucking things up over here, man.
This is the worst.
You're the worst. You're the worst, nigga.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You wanted to just do this?
What's that?
God, I can't. This is such a mess.
Hold on. Make sure that same link is working, man. All right. Same link. Same link is working.
Yep.
Post that link up again, baby.
It is up.
Okay.
Oh, Craig Lindsay, what's up, baby? Okay, cool. We got some people in here.
All right. Craig's in the house. God damn it. What's up, brother?
Gentlemen. Oh, Jerry Franchise is in. Okay, here we go. Now we're starting to get some people.
Some people are out.
Just make sure you don't turn off the live stream.
Listen, man, Brandon, don't make me come for you, man. I don't want to have to hurt you here on the live stream in front of all of our good people.
Imagine this is like such a good episode.
It turns into a fucking brawl.
Just see you beat this shit. All right, guys, we can get started in like 3 minutes. Tell the people, you know.
Oh no.
Jeez,
No. I'm fixing the lens. I want to make sure that it's locked in on the both of us right here.
We need a producer.
Huh?
You can't do this anymore.
No, you're right, Brandon. We would probably do well if we had a producer, somebody who could sit here and do these things, so we don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's very important.
Yeah.
Very important.
Why the angles keep changing?
No, that's what I was saying. I was fixing the lens. I wanted to be in the right area, right place.
I look so tired in the screen.
Well, that's because you are tired and lonely. Baby, tired and lonely. That was obviously an old Ray Charles song. I just changed it.
2 more minutes, guys. Thank God. 2 more minutes, and I'm closer and closer to getting away from this nigga.
Don't come for me, man. Don't come for me. You don't want it.
I was kind of confused when people say, you don't want it. Like, you don't want this. And then it's like, oh, no, I want it. Like, wouldn't you be scared if you were about to, like, fight square with somebody? You're like, you don't want none of this. And the guy's like, no, nigga, I want it. And you'd be like,
Yes, I do.
like, oh, boy.
I have made a mistake. Oh, Lord, I have made a mistake.
Okay.
All right.
Y'all ready to do this? Y'all ready to play the theme song?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Let me just edit the name on this. Baby, I know a woman way over town.
Why you added the
And
name?
it's on me. Oh, yeah. All right, okay. All right, okay now. All right, we're good. We got this. You ready to do this?
I'm so ready to do this.
All right, then do it.
All right.
We got two niggas for the movies.
Yeah.
Brandon Collins.
That's me.
And Justin Brown for your movie needs. Medium popcorn.
Ooh.
You haven't seen it, well, we're gonna spoil it.
Spoil it in your face.
That's your warning. And if you get pissed, it's all your fault.
And again, hit the note. Sing doesn't. I get.
And again, hit the note. It could have hit the note.
I tried to sing it live, it didn't work.
No. It did not. What is up, guys? We are fucking live right now. Medium popcorn niggas spoiling movies.
Yes, that's right. If you're listening to this from home, that means you missed out on the Patreon live stream. You got to sign up for that, baby, so you get that exclusive link and watch Justin and I in real time being buffoons.
Yeah. That's pretty much what it is.
But again, I'm your host, Brandon Collins.
And I'm Justin Brown, y'all.
And we are talking about a special movie today.
Yes, we are.
Spike Lee's Return to Greatness. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
It's been a very long time.
yes, it
I was
has.
watching this movie. First of all, there's a lot of white people in this movie theater.
Yeah, there
Again, like, sorry to bother you, a lot of white people in this theater too. A lot of older white people.
Yeah, there was a couple sitting in front of me, very old, very decrepit. Looked like the guy could have been a Hell's Angel. He was a big motherfucker.
Yeah, there was a lot of old, like you said, old frail white people where I'm like, are they playing penance? Or are they here to be like, I remember the good old days? It could have gone either way.
I remember when they used to be able to say nigger on screen all the time, and it was totally fine.
Okay, so the thing for me was like, I was watching this movie, I'm like, man, this is like a really good movie. There's definitely some flaws in here. It's a really good movie. And I was like, man, I haven't seen a Spike Lee movie in the theater since Inside Man. Because Chirac was an Amazon film. I watched it on Amazon. The Sweet Blood of Jesus, that was like another Amazon thing. Miracle at St. Anna, I watched, and I was just like, I watched that on video. And I was like, this is crazy. He did Summer Brooklyn, with the brother from The Wire. I'm blanking on the name, but he's done a bunch of movies since Inside Man.
Yeah,
that didn't even attempt to see in the theater.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know,
Old
a
Boy
lot of people.
Bond, like he's been doing he did some stinkers.
Yeah, I was about to say that, like he's not put out really quality shit over the last few years. I mean, that's what it really comes down to.
Yeah, but this is a return to form. I really enjoyed it. I thought the acting was really good, especially from surprisingly the Klansman guys. I had to put that played Felix, who was clearly knows that Adam Driver's a Jew. He's amazing.
Finnish guy.
He's Finnish?
Yeah, from Finland. Yeah.
What else has he been in? How do you know that?
He's from he's.
He was in Vikings.
Vikings. Doesn't he look like a young Robert Downey Jr. in that picture?
Not exactly. But
he looked just like Robert Downey Jr., like a young Robert Downey Jr. in that picture.
But his name is Jasper Parakokonen. Phenomenal. He was great. Really good performance. Because he's so intense, but also kind of he's insane. And he's he's interrogating Adam Driver constantly because he's like, I don't trust him. He looks like a Jew. By the way, can we talk for a second about how underrated I think Adam Driver is?
You know what? You know what's funny? I was just thinking the same exact thing earlier today. I think that he's a phenomenal actor.
Dude, he's been I remember in Girls, people were like, "This show sucks." I'm like, yeah, but this guy Adam Driver is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he's the next big villain of all time with Kylo Ren and stuff. I know people were kind of the shirtless scene in The Last Jedi was kind of corny and stuff, but he's actually a really, really good actor. He plays these really complex characters that make me I'm intrigued. I pretty much check out every project he does.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's really turned that corner into really, really doing some really fucking powerful shit.
Yeah,
because in this movie, he brings it. He really does bring it. I mean, at first I was just like, I mean, you know, I didn't know how much it was going to lean on him, but like he had, I just felt like he had a really good performance in this.
He had a really strong arc. There was no Oscar scene though. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
I think for none of these guys, there's no potential to be nominated. I think John David Washington. Here's my thing with him.
Mm-hmm.
One, the fake afro was a bit much.
Yeah,
The fake afro. I don't know if they did that intentionally to make it look comical, but it was a bit much. Like definitely.
It really made me kind of look. It made me look twice. And I was like, wait a second, what's happening right here?
Yeah.
You know, I actually sent you an interview. It's the dude Jasper talking about the movie, stuff like that. He had. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's a full interview though. But he had some really good lines in it about like how important this movie is, and it's just like how him growing up in Finland is like a lot of this stuff he doesn't realize how important it is, and like he came he came to the United States in the 90s, and he was going to school in D.C. and he met a black girl, and he took her to some sort of event, and the fact that people were giving him shit for taking this black girl to an event with him, he's just like, why is this a thing? But he didn't understand. So it's like the culture shock of dealing with race in this country, and how huge it is, and how it plays a factor into almost everything that we do. And it was a really compelling interview that I saw with him. I don't think that's not the full one.
Okay, cool. I'll post it on the Patreon or something like that. So this movie takes place in the 70s. Ron Stallworth, who's John David Washington, Denzel's son. He sounds exactly like his dad. He's on Ballers.
I don't know. I don't know if he sounds like his dad.
He sounds a lot like his dad. It's kind of
well, you know what? Denzel has very Denzelisms.
Exactly, yeah.
But he doesn't have those strong Denzelisms. I mean, maybe a little bit of it, but it's like, I mean, somebody told us like, oh, that's Denzel's son. You know, just by looking at him, it was like, I don't see it. He doesn't have those Denzel tics.
I gotta say, he's the weakest actor in this movie.
I kind of feel the same.
Not that he wasn't good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just when he was playing against like, I just felt in every scene he was like outmatched.
Gotcha.
Every scene, like I honestly, Corey Hawkins as the speaker, I thought was phenomenal as Kwame Ture.
Yeah.
I was actually the whole time like, damn, it would have been interesting to see Corey Hawkins in that role as Ron Stallworth.
Yeah.
Because he has kind of like the unique intensity, with softness that I think like would make him appealing. Because this nigga made Dr. Dre look like you could bring him home for dinner. You know what I mean? Like that's no easy feat.
Until he starts kicking and punching women down the stairs and things like that. Well, I mean, you act like Dr. Dre did not actually do those things.
I'm not shaking my head about your comment. I'm shaking your head about you not knowing how to talk into the microphone.
You shut your face when you're talking to me, Brandon. You shut your face when you're talking to me.
So he joins the Colorado Springs Police Department as the first brother to do so.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, you are out of your goddamn mind.
Not with an afro, they wouldn't.
Do you think he had an afro? I gotta read the book. I've read that they took some liberties with the story, obviously.
Yeah.
He might have had an afro, especially if he was, because remember the true story about Ron Stallworth is that he was used a lot by his department to when he infiltrates the Black Student Union group, because they had the civil rights leader Kwame, as a speaker. That wasn't the only time he was asked to do that on behalf of the police department.
Yeah.
So he was going to like a lot of civil rights rallies and things like that, infiltrating them and getting information.
Yeah.
So he probably did have the afro for authenticity.
But at the same time, did they hire him with an afro, or did they tell him, it's like, hey, you mind growing an afro?
I can see it going either way.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a fake afro. That's the only thing that bugged me.
Yeah, it just looked weird.
Yeah.
You know, especially alongside of like real afros that we saw in the movie.
Yeah.
It's just like something's not right here. Yours looks weird.
Yeah. But he gets accepted into the police academy and he becomes an officer. But they put him in the fucking records department.
Yeah.
So he's just bored finding folders for racist white cops that are just antagonizing him. But he just seemed like a dick though. Like they weren't even like, they were just like, hey, I need this file. He'd just be like, smashing on and shit, then doing kung fu moves. Except for that one cop, the really racist cop.
Yeah. I do feel like when I was watching, it was just like, all right, I understand you don't want to be here, but I mean, they do I feel like in a way, they do kind of have to ease him in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're the first black cop.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, they're probably gonna have to ease you in. Especially, it's like, yeah, Colorado. You're in Colorado. Obviously, none of us think that there's a lot of black people in Colorado. You're right. There aren't a lot of black people in Colorado. But what the niggas that are in Colorado are on some high level nigga shit, because they're out in the fucking. They're in a certain area. It's much like everywhere else where you're left to your own devices in an area which isn't policed like other places. So, yeah. What? What are you looking at?
I'm just trying to like completely unpack what you just said. It's kind of long-winded. I'm just kind of like, all right.
Fair enough. Fuck you.
But my whole thing is he's pushing to be an undercover cop because I could think I could do some real good. And the first assignment they put him on is to infiltrate the Black Student Union for this controversial black leader who, for the most part, is just saying, like, don't be embarrassed by your blackness. Be proud of your blackness. Be proud of who you are and your features and your physicality.
And he basically, don't take no shit.
Don't take no shit, and then also get guns because we're going to be killing somebody's.
Well, he didn't quite say that.
It's kind of like you're going to have to defend yourself. Because if you think, and this is still happening, which is so crazy and jarring about the last 5 minutes of this movie, which we'll talk about. By the way, folks, niggas spoiling movies, we're spoiling the shit out of this. So if you haven't seen it or haven't read the history, just, I don't know what to tell you at this point.
If you listen to the show.
It's the theme song. But it was just really disturbing to see, like black people saying, like, we have to defend ourselves, and white people be like, we got to defend our country, but then they're the aggressors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
well, it's also
forcing us to have to arm ourselves and, like, defend ourselves and our families.
But they're the first ones to talk about, hey, they're gangsters, they have guns and things like that. But then at the same time, it's just like, don't take away our guns, though. Yeah. We get to have guns, but not those people because we're afraid of them.
And that's the contradiction of the NRA right now.
Yeah.
It's because, like, black people are arming themselves more and more because of the shit that's happening. And the NRA is, like, torn because they're getting money from black people that are signing up for NRA memberships.
Yeah.
But they don't want them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, our money's not good because you're spending it just like the other white people.
Well, I mean, so when it really comes down to it, the NRA is actually making off like a fat cat over all of this, inner fighting within our communities because, people are becoming afraid and they're buying more guns. They're trying to protect themselves. So it's just like, why not keep all this shit going?
The NRA is that little nigga with the machine that puts stars upon ours on the sneeches. And black and white people are the sneeches. Think about it.
Okay.
Man, the sneeches, you can use that for a lot of, like, metaphors for, like, race and society. I love that story. It's so good.
So good.
But, okay, so Ron Stallworth, he infiltrates the Black Student Union, and he meets Patrice Dumas, who's the president of the Black Student Union at Colorado College. This is a fictional character. Been doing more research. She never was part of the story. But she's played by Laura Harrier, who is freaking Liz from Spider-Man Homecoming. So my question is, she's only 28, but she looks like she can play multiple different ages. And she is fucking beautiful.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. It should be illegal. I mean, it should be illegal for me to be around her because.
Well, no, I think that there you go. That's a solid point.
Laura, I'm not gonna lie to you. You should probably file a restraining order now. Just go ahead and do it. Let's just both be precautious.
But
is that a word? Precautious. Cautious.
Yeah, cautious.
Cautious is a word.
Yeah,
precautious.
Precautious. No,
Precarious. Was that trying to say precarious?
I don't know.
I think I might be on a stroke.
Yeah, well, we could do without you. I will say that like John David Washington, his scenes with her didn't seem as forced.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like those are the scenes where he was just like he was a little bit more at ease.
Yeah, he was very relaxing though.
Yeah, it seems like alongside the male actors that were really bringing it. That's when it almost felt. I don't know. It just felt like something was missing a little bit.
They might have been. Spike might have been going for that, almost like a stiffness.
Okay.
Like, because I remember Oliver Stone said that's why he cast Charlie Sheen in Wall Street, because Charlie Sheen was like kind of like so rough around the edges and very stiff as an actor, and he liked that because he was like, you could see why Gordon Gekko would take advantage of this kid.
Gotcha.
And so, like, they put him in this situation where they're like, we can like kind of manipulate him and use him for our needs. Because remember, he's at the Black Student Union thing, and he's like reporting back, and he's kind of like, oh no, like the speaker wasn't actually that violent. It was just kind of all talk about, raise our guns and stuff like that. It's more like he actually had some decent ideas for how like black people can, succeed and like progress. And his chief captain is like, his captain's just like, whatever, it's just fucking all crazy. Like we gotta keep an eye on that. And so what ends up happening is he gets sorry, I'm just yeah, go ahead. Okay. So he ends up getting asked to join like the other squad, right? Like it's where Adam Driver and the older white guy, they're like stationed.
They just want to put him under cover.
Yeah.
So they actually put him under cover, but they're actually putting him in narcotics.
Yes,
they feel
right.
like he would be better suited in narcotics for infiltrating the drug links.
That's after. Remember, they offer him narcotics after all the shits happened.
No,
they put him in intelligence.
Oh, you're right. They did put him in
because remember, at the end, the chief is like, because when he's like, hey, we have to burn all the evidence of this case.
Yes.
That's when he's like, we're gonna put you in intelligence.
You're right. Well, no. That's when they said they were going to put him in narcotics. They said they were going to put him in narcotics. At first, they put him in intelligence. They said they were going to put him in narcotics afterwards, after burning all this stuff.
Definitely.
All right. So now, I'm sorry, I lost train of thought.
Yeah, sorry, folks. We had a cleaning lady come into the space we're using.
Yes.
So we got distracted.
I was just thinking, like, please just don't walk behind us right now.
So, like, she was going to do it.
Yeah, she was clearly just going to start coming around.
The crazy thing was, he's just kind of like killing time. And then he's reading the newspaper, and there's the smallest ad for Ku Klux Klan, and like calls his number for more information. So he's just like, oh, fuck it. Because they're supposed to be keeping eyes on domestic terrorists.
Yeah.
Right? So he calls the number. His voicemail was like, oh, I hate Jews and niggers and spics and mix and Jamba juices and cheats.
No. He just called and left inquiring about information about the Klan, yada.
Oh, yeah.
And then he calls him back almost immediately.
But in real life, it was a few weeks.
Yeah, I imagine.
Yeah. But in the movie, he calls back, and then that's when he talks to Walt, right? The guy's named Walter.
Yes.
Who, that actor, I'm pretty sure was on 90210. Yes, he was. He was the freaking teacher from CW's reboot of 90210. And I was like, this motherfucker was so good at being like a white supremacist. It was jarring. He was the teacher of 90210. It freaked me out.
Because you watched that show?
First of all, Nick, you know I watched that show.
You're such a bitch. You're such a...
Well, it had a brother on it. The kid who played Dixon on his name was Dixon on 90210. The one who played Michael on The Wire.
Yes. I know who was in
his street cred.
Oh yeah, it's gone.
By the way, that kid, I'm gonna be real, not a good actor. on The Wire, he just got by because like his character meant for him to be like very stiff and cold. But like every other performance has been like that. I'm blanking like his name, Tristan Wiles. That's what it is. He's not good. He's not a good actor.
Well, I mean, is he still working?
I think so. He's Mac Wiles now. He's a singer / rapper.
Oh God, sorry, buddy, it's over.
I mean, he's making more money than we are.
No, but it's over.
We're doing a podcast where Cleveland Laser disrespected us. What are you talking about?
No, but I mean, it's like his rise is now on a fall.
Yeah,
he's a falling star.
Especially compared to Michael B. Jordan.
Oh, yeah.
Michael B. Jordan was on 4 episodes of The Wire. Look at that nigga. He's about to get an Oscar nomination for playing a nigga with a great hairdo. Yeah. Is this your king now? Damn. I watched that movie the other day.
Good ass movie.
He beat the dog shit at the child. Like it was like a horror movie.
You know, when it really comes down to it, T'Challa could not beat him.
Dude, T'Challa got like stabbed multiple times. He Mike Myers. He filleted that nigga. Anyways, so yeah, Walter, this guy calls, and Ron Stallworth, because he's a fucking rookie, he accidentally uses his real name.
Fucking ridiculous.
Real name when he's talking to Walter, and then talks about, I hate Jews, blah blah blah, and then he says that his sister was accosted by a black man, and it makes him sick that her hand. Just think about her pure white skin being accosted by that nigga, that Jungle Boo monkey. They use all kinds of phrases for us. I was like, I haven't even heard that before.
Yeah.
By the way, how do people behave in your movie theater with all the niggas and niggers in this case, and all the just weird, crazy like mixture between like you have to laugh otherwise you cry moments?
I think that for the most part, people were kind of glued to the fucking screen.
Yeah.
People were pretty much glued to the screen. There are some things like when I saw the couple in front of me, they kind of you could see like there was almost like a cringe coming from them.
Yeah.
When certain things were said, stuff like that. Also, I was kind of looking around the room and was like, which one of y'all white motherfuckers a little too comfortable in here right now?
The barrage of N-bombs in this movie, it almost got numb, but like in a more serious way than Django. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like it was like a little bit like more like, oh, this is meant to
affect. This is meant to. This is meant to to affect. Yeah, it's meant to affect.
Like when Felix and his wife are, and this is why like I was like, man, Spike is like not humanizing racist, but he's almost like they legit believe in this shit. When Felix and his wife are at home and they're plotting the bombing they're going to try to do at the Black Student Union, and they're holding each other in bed, and she's got like this gleeful smile, and she's like, we've always talked about killing niggers, but I never thought we'd really do it. Yeah. And he's like, baby, it's time to take back our land. And I'm like, wow. Like,
yeah, dude.
Like he's showing that people are genuinely like, I'm so afraid of what I see around me that I'm willing to take lives.
See, but that's the thing. People are bred with this. They come up. Their fathers and things like that. They bring them up with this like, this is truth. This is what it is. We're this. They're that.
Or they have an experience where they probably said some shit and got fucked up by a brother or like a group of dudes. Okay, so here's like a great example I like to use with this situation. I know so many white comedians that had like either got beat up by black kids or like had a bad encounter with a black dude because they probably said some crazy shit. It's not like black people are just going around trying to instigate shit, but sometimes things happen, and because of that situation, that completely flips a switch on you, and you become like crazy racist and don't realize there's just that one incident, that one bad encounter, but now you're basing a whole race on that situation.
Yeah.
Same thing goes for Muslims, I think. I know a person that, in the story that they told me and Tatiana was like, my boys and I got jumped by these Muslim kids, and so I'm like anti-Muslim. or whatever. Like, but he never said that. He was just like every time he talked about politics and stuff, he talks about the Muslim ban and how he's a proponent of it.
Mm.
By the way, this guy's Puerto Rican, and like hearing that, I'm like, oh, you and your boys got fucked up because you probably seen some wild shit to these Muslim kids,
and then they rose up
beat the
on
shit
you.
out of you.
Yeah, and then now he can't get over it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's like the thing, like people disconnect from that.
See, but
they don't
you know
take
what?
accountability
See,
for their own actions and that shit.
and that's a good point. But at the same point, people are just like, I don't know why black people hate the cops. Well, when you live in a community where the cops are clearly just the enemy and fuck with you on a daily basis and do things to make you feel like less than a human, you would have a problem with cops too.
Well, that was the thing, like with Ron and Patrice, right? Is that she kept saying, like, you know, calling cops pigs, but that's because she had an encounter with that really racist cop that Ron's been dealing with. His name is Landers.
Yeah,
fucking sleazy actor. That guy was fucking really ridiculous. But he keeps trying to insist that there are good cops.
Yeah,
not every cop is bad. Not every cop is corrupt, because he's also working with a group of cops that, to be honest, are probably saying N-bombs, but they need them to be likable and for you to support them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure Flip, who's Adam Driver's character, definitely drops some N-bombs here and there.
And especially his partner. Who was the other dude?
The other white guy? Yeah.
The other white guy.
Who helped him with the surveillance and stuff?
Yeah, he was probably all over that shit.
Yeah. But they sold those roles, man. When they're going through the recon and, like, because Ron determines, like, hey, the Klan wants to meet me because they potentially want me to join. Obviously, I can't go as myself, and that was actually a really funny scene where they're all like making fun of like the fact that like, there's no way he can go meet the Klan.
Yeah,
because that's just gonna be all kinds of crazy.
Well, you're dead now.
And so they're like, hey, so Flip will go, and Flip is Jewish, and they're like doing the recon about like, you know, who Ron is, what he's told Walter, because he's been on the phone for like multiple times with this guy.
Yes.
Before they actually invite him to meet a few of them at the bar.
Yeah.
Right. So like they have to have this whole backstory and stuff, which I find like that's like so crazy, because you have to know your story in and out. Because when people are suspect of you and you're undercover, like they pick at every little inconsistency.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why later on when he tries to use this story like, oh, my dad's sick in Texas.
He said Dallas.
He said Dallas,
instead
but
of,
on the phone he said El Paso
to
Walter, and that's what Fields is like, this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, good for him for knowing immediately this dude's not on the up and up.
Yeah.
I don't know how you know if someone's like 100% down with the Aryan cause, but
dude,
I guess it's just
yeah. But you also got to realize that like when you're in a subculture like that's fucking very niche.
Yeah.
You're probably looking at everybody with a side eye and thinking it's like, I know people trying to take us down.
True.
So it's like he's gonna be on some wild shit, and of course he's the crazy one.
Yeah, because they're very adamant. Like, even though we do cross brings, we're anti-violence, but Walter keeps saying like, but Felix is the wild card. He's the guy that's fucking nuts. Yeah, and then he ends up trying to like get some C4 and blow up.
Well, I mean,
with Harry Belafonte, who has an amazing, beautiful cameo in this movie. Yeah, and I was like, Justin, when we were watching that scene across between the initiation for the Klan and him giving the story about the
man who was accused of something and basically
very much mutilated and tortured by these white men. And you see that they're gearing up to like do something bad. I was like, bro, if they blow up this house, my whole week is ruined. No, because it was such a beautiful scene. Like, it's such a beautiful cross panel between these two scenes that Spike was doing, building up the tension. Yeah. And just building like, it was like he was telling this horrible story to these young black people that are just like frightened and like scared that like people in the world would do that.
And unbeknownst to them, that was somebody was gearing up to do that exact same thing to them.
And then the Klan is just jubilant in like their initiation. They're about to watch the Birth of a Nation film. It's just like,
which also which was just really fucked up to see that movie.
Popcorn and like scene. Like,
no, not even that. The actual film and the actors in blackface and
You never seen Birth of a Nation?
No, I never watched it.
I haven't ever watched the whole thing. I've never watched the whole thing, but
I don't want to watch it.
it's the birth of cinema, but I can't do it just because of how the history of that film and stuff like that just like breaks my heart because it's like I know people can be better, and I know people have empathy. I want to believe that people have empathy.
Yeah.
I want to believe that people are willing to be open-minded.
Yeah.
And experience new things, and experience new people. But then I see this movie where I'm like, no matter what, let's say, because remember David Duke talks about his mammy, his quote unquote mammy.
Yes.
That was almost like a member of the family, and how like he's like, oh, I hate all Negroes or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like these people will never see a human. You know what I mean? Like an equal human.
Mm-hmm.
Because they believe genetically like that they're more superior. Like he has the whole. The kudos to Topher Grace, man. Eric Foreman.
Yeah, he did a great job. But you know what? I also feel like he plays a certain role. He plays it very well. You know what I'm saying? He really does. It's like he's that very fucking fucking middle fucking country, fucking cut the crust off the edges American. You know what I'm saying? He's just like that real fucking Midwestern good old boy.
Yeah.
Like he plays that very well. And like so like when he was in, was it Spider-Man 2 or 3?
Yes.
He was in Spider-Man 3. Did it work?
Yeah, because he's supposed to be like this. Yeah, that is a weird take on Eddie Brock.
Yeah, you can't. For him to be it, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
You need that guy to be fucking. He plays really that fucking America's boy.
Sure.
Yeah, like that's who he. And when you put him in that role, but then if you want to make him this evil fucking being or whatever, it has to be under the guise of that all-American guy, and like that's why it came off so perfectly in this film.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think it's like he's a perfect guy to play a role like that, and play the role of a fucking piece of shit, a la David Duke.
Well, that was like there's so many good scenes in this movie, but when he's talking to Ron on the phone, because Ron's trying to get the membership for Adam Driver's character.
Yeah.
So it's like, so you can be initiated, and like we can finally find out what's really going on here. Because they keep hearing hints about potential attack that they were going to facilitate. So like, we need to get you in as a member, and so he calls the headquarters, and David Duke actually answers the phone, fucking Grand Wizard.
Yeah.
And they get along swimmingly, which is crazy because. And then at one point in one of their conversations, he's like, "How do you know I'm not like a black guy? How do you know there's never a black guy that might call, like as a cop, and pretend to be a white guy?" And he's like, "Oh, I could tell by the way they pronounce their R's." He's like, black people always do ara.
Yeah, they say ara, which is
Ara. You gonna eat that fried chicken over there?
Which is funny though, because my dad used to say ara.
Really?
Yeah.
But he's from the South, right?
He's from the South.
Yeah.
It's a very Southern thing.
Yeah,
you also find it some areas in the Midwest, but a lot of the people in the Midwest that say it is because of the Great Migration.
From the South.
Yeah. So like a lot of Chicago people say R
I
as
didn't
well.
realize, like, a lot of people say that I have, like, sometimes I say Southern things. Like, I have, like,
Southern draw or like little dialects.
I say, like, y'all and stuff a lot. Like, I do things like that. And I got that from my grandfather, I think, who, his family was originally from the South before they went to Michigan, I think.
Yeah.
My mom's going to be so mad at me if I'm wrong with this, but like, there's definitely some Southern stuff going on there.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's...
The Alabama flavor just flowing through my veins. It's going to be a goddamn gator fight.
I just... You start talking about, the only thing I think of is fucking Main Justice, the SNL sketch with Jason Sudeikis and fucking Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my favorite fucking SNL sketches. But yeah, man, I think it's just like so there are certain things that like black people for certain areas do say like, and mind you, he is from where is he from? Mississippi. Yeah, correct?
Yep.
From Mississippi.
No, that's David Duke.
Yeah.
Louisiana.
Louisiana,
because
you're
right.
Right.
Saying, because when Ron Stallworth, the real Ron,
yes.
David Washington, has to fucking be his bodyguard.
Which, but go on.
But when he's like, oh, how about you come, when he tries to take the he takes a picture with him, he's like, how about you come down to Louisiana and we'll show you how we really get down. And I was like, oh shit. Because I thought he was supposed to be anti-violence.
Yeah.
Pretty much just said, you come down here, we're gonna lynch you.
Yeah. I mean, this is in the 70s. I mean, something tells me he was on.
But that's because they always were in packs.
What's that?
That's because they were always in packs. If Ron Stallworth and David Duke just squared up 1-to-1,
No, he wouldn't do anything.
Ron would pummel him.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, Ron pummels him, or begins to pummel him. Here they come, or they just throw him in jail, and he never gets out.
True.
Or crazy atrocities happen to him in jail. It's a whole pack mentality. These guys who join the Klan, who join these hate groups and things like that, it's because they're afraid. And then they rally around a bunch of other motherfuckers because you know their power comes in numbers because they have no power in their everyday life. You also look at some people join the police department because they have that same feeling. Not saying that all police are this way, but some are because they're fucking. They grew up. They grew up being feeling like less than, and it's like, well, if I have a gun on my waist, I can do whatever the hell I want. And those guys usually turn into the bad cops.
Yeah.
Because they were picked on, and now they have their opportunity to be the bully.
True. It's all psycho, man.
Yeah.
It's all racist psycho.
But go back to with the R and stuff like that. One thing that I find hilarious working, traveling, stuff like that, traveling the country, there are some places I go where, so I work for Buick, right?
Yeah.
And people come up to the display, only black people do this, or I have to be in the South with people with very strong Southern accents, and they don't say Buick, they say Burke.
Oh, that's weird.
There's an R in there that comes out of nowhere, but is specifically a black thing. Unless I'm in the South, where that R comes out of fucking nowhere. Burke. Oh man, Burke makes a good vehicle. They make a real good vehicle.
Come again? Sir, I don't know that we don't have that.
Oh yeah, Burke. Man, that deuce and a quarter. That was a car back in the day. The deuce and a quarter.
I took a quarter water? What are you talking about, sir?
Real conversation.
I'd be the worst car salesman. I'm like, sir, I think you're having a diabetic shock. We need to get you some insulin.
I ain't got no diabetes no more. When they took my foot, my diabetes was cut right there. It was cut.
I want to shout out Paul Walter Hauser, who plays Ivanhoe. The fat guy, that's just a mess. He's the one who's like pretty much hinting that there's going to be a huge explosion.
Yeah.
And he was in I, Tonya.
Oh, okay.
As the friend. Did you ever see I, Tonya?
I haven't watched it.
Dude, it's so good.
Is it?
I, Tonya is really good. We should probably do it at some point. Yeah, it's pretty good. Maybe it's a Patreon episode or something like that, yeah. He's really funny. It's similar kind of character, but yeah, he's like that kind of loser you're talking about, that one that's like power in numbers, so he doesn't ever have to like fight someone by himself.
Yeah.
And he can always like act like he's tougher than he actually is.
Yeah, I mean, but also look at the fact is it's like, these guys in the Klan, stuff like that, they hide behind masks.
True.
They hide behind masks. Some people, who join the police force, they hide behind a fucking uniform.
Well, they had those two people in the government, remember, that were part of the KKK, because at one point, Adam Driver's character was like asking Walt, he's like, who are those two guys? And I haven't seen them before in another meeting. It's like, oh, don't worry about them. Because they're government officials.
Yeah.
And then that's because the FBI lets Ron Stallworth know, like, hey, your investigation's actually helping us because we didn't know these guys were affiliated with the Klan.
Yeah. Well, I mean, now, mind you, at the same time, let's be totally fair here. There are people who are fucking, people of color who are in gangs and shit like that, and they're in there for the same fucking reason. So like, it's not even just a thing against racist people do racist things and yada yada. It's just bitch ass dudes do bitch ass fucking things, and they're bitch ass dudes are across all fucking races and creeds and things like that. There are bitch ass dudes who join the military just because they're a bitch ass and they feel like they just want to be a part of something and get a gun in their hand.
Yeah, we really gotta stop with guns.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's like there are certain people who shouldn't be given, who are not made for this thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I had a whole fucking debate about this dude who's a cop about like the police shootings and yada yada, which is like, yeah, I'm good to talk about it, but he was just like protocol. So you telling me there's no people who shouldn't be cops? He's like, no, it's about this. Was like, so you telling me that anybody
who's a cop is perfect at their job?
Yeah, like you can't say that nobody should not be there. And it's like, that's bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Because it's like that's what you're a product.
Yeah, because I'm sure like Sunday when you went to Best Buy, you could complain about 1 or 2 workers because now no one's perfect.
Dude, I've worked many a job, and there's been many of the people at these places. And I've looked at them and been like, "You're bad at this," and or you looked at other people's like, "You're not. You're bad at this, but you're bad because you don't have the tools to make you be better." You know what I'm saying? You're being underserved, and then you can't perform in the way that you can. And I feel there's a lot of police officers. Same thing. If they have better training, you know, and have these things set up that would help them and support them, they would be a better cop. And I said that to this guy, and he just kept on arguing. It's like, that's how I know you're full of shit.
Oh, yeah.
You can't even look at your own thing and be like, hey, you know what? You're right. We do need this.
Well, that's the problem with like where we're at now. Is that no one is willing to be wrong. No one's willing to step back and be like, you know what? No, I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah, no one's willing to listen. That's the question. That's the thing.
Listen, it's like people. This movie illustrated, like visually, showed how divided we are as a society because they had like the historic, you know, like as we said, like the Klan initiation, and then like the Black Student Union, and they have like the you should not replace this at the last 5 minutes of Charlottesville against the peaceful protesters, right?
Yeah.
But then it's like social justice warriors are just as bad as like ultra conservative racist people to me because they get offended for people that aren't even offended. Like I can't tell you how many like white audiences I performed in front of. They get offended for jokes I say that black people aren't offended by. They're offended about black jokes I do on behalf of black people that are not offended.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you talking about?
Get out of here. Shut up.
But if you said that to them, they'd be like,
yeah.
Like I'm invisibly punching them.
This is like sometimes you just want to look at people and just be like, "You're not black. Shut up. This ain't for you."
Yeah.
Like this. Don't worry. The joke wasn't for you.
I think Spike Lee. Just the vibe he has in this movie. I think that's what comes off because there was no white people were talking through this. Yeah, black people, we were like, oh shit. Like when they said some of those Trump lines, like the America First rant that David Duke starts.
Yeah.
When I think this deputy that took Stallworth out, and he was like, hey, so I know you have been working like with Flip and like infiltrating the Klan. Supposedly David Duke's going to be coming for induction, like the induction of new members, and he's trying to get into politics because he's trying to use race, trying to use the economy. He's trying to use immigration, all these things to like get, and you start subtly putting those into the ether, and people will like, it'll come out the other end. People will like start supporting that, and it'll be thought of as less racist, and more just like, yeah, you're right.
Nationalism.
People are taking our shit, and then that's when Star Wars is like, no one would ever let someone who has those kind of views.
Yep.
And like I was sitting next to the two brothers. Granted, they were both drinking and had the weirdest suits on. But we were all just like, God damn. Like, just come on, man. Come on, Spike. Don't do this. We already know it's bad.
Yeah, but you know what? It's just like, but that's truth. And like back then, we all thought it's like, not even, like nobody would let things happen. But when, a majority group starts somehow in some way start feeling like they're a minority, then all of a sudden they rise up.
Well, that's what's happening, right? Because in, 2064, white people will be the minority for the first time ever? They're freaking out about that.
Then what are they going to do?
That's why I genuinely think we're going to come out the other side of this whole Trump thing.
Well, so I had a debate not a debate, just talking to one of my friends about it, and it was just like, obviously there's a lot of fucking shit going on right now.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is some positive things that are coming of this Trump presidency. It's like What? Like what? I said, there's a lot of things. I said, for one, because Trump's in there, people are not going to be fucking around anymore. People are saying like, oh, my candidate didn't win in the primaries. Fuck that, I'm not voting. That they won't do that shit again. People letting somebody come in the country and divide us this way and talk all that crazy shit. That they're not going to let that shit happen again because they see what that does. So it's like now people are far more tuned in into not letting that bullshit turn this country into a fucking cesspool.
And I mean, this movie kind of like, it doesn't wrap everything into a little bow, but it definitely is like kind of like happy ending-ish, which is weird, except for the last 5 minutes, because Connie, who's Felix's wife, they send her to the Black City Union House to try to blow up the building.
Yeah, to drop off the package.
Because Ron gets a heads up that something's not right, he calls them in, so there's mad cops surveilling the building, and also like they've had a lot of bomb threats anyway. Yeah. So there's a lot of cops, and so Connie freaks out, and then they're like, and then husband's like, go to Plan B, which Plan B is just bomb Patrice. Yeah. Because she's the president of the Black City Union, and he's been kind of like stalking her here and there anyway, which made me feel like he might have been attracted to her, because remember also the Landers, the racist cop was like filling her up too, and like commenting on how he thought she was so hot and stuff like that. So I feel like there's something there too, like kind of with the slave owners like that. Fuck the slaves because they like that power and they feel like, you should do everything I want. Just like that fucking weird power trip.
Well, I mean, I just have a different kind of view on it in the sense is like I've noticed certain things about certain kinds of people who like half of their thing is getting off on power.
Oh yeah.
And like sexually, as long as they're in power or like power, humiliation, they really love that shit.
So fucking weird. That's someone's broken when that happens.
Yeah, but I've found a lot of dudes who are about that kind of shit, and I'm just like, oh, what's going on with you?
There's sometimes like I remember I was in Miami for my boy's bachelor party. This one dude was at the pool, and there was like a lot of girls around, and shaking their ass and stuff, and he was like, "Yo, I want to take that one girl, just bend over, just rip her ass apart, just fucking pound." I'm like, what?
Why so aggressive, dude?
Like, why is that appealing to you? Like, why in that manner?
Yeah, I mean,
like,
it's like,
just like douchebags like that. I'm like, oh, that's why.
That's why we got the Me Too movement right now, because of guys like that. But I just feel like they're like in those scenes, it's like him following that girl, that cop. It's just like you. A lot of it is it's like they're attracted to these women who don't want them because of who they are.
Absolutely.
And because of what they look like. And the fact is that in their mind, and they've been told for years, ever since they were a little kid, that you are fucking the best. You have everything. You are the knight in shining armor that every woman is looking for. And then you find a certain, it's like, nah, we don't fuck with y'all. They can't take it. But at the same time, we live with that fucking shit on a daily basis. Yeah. That, come strength with that, baby.
I mean, at least Felix and his boys got their up and comings. Because there's the one dude that's been in like every Spike Lee movie, the Italian dude. Yeah. What's his name? Who had access to C4 and stuff and taught them how to do it. So Connie goes to Patrice's house because she's arriving there with her friend, and Connie panics and ends up putting the bomb by her car, but no one knows that. And Stallworth is trying to stop her, and because he's black and he's accosting a big white woman, cops show up and immediately start beating the shit out of him, even though she has a detonator for the bomb. And Felix has a detonator for the bomb because he pulls up to the car. Yes. Because they think that the bomb is outside the house because that was the plan. But Connie panics, put it by the car. They don't know that they pulled it right next to the producer's car, and then because Felix pushes the detonator, they blow up. And then luckily Flip shows up after being initiated and like almost getting his cover blown because Italian dude from The Longest Yard. And also, he was Jungle Fever. He was the main dude that beat John Turturro.
Yeah, no, he's in every single Spike Lee movie.
I wouldn't say every single one, but he's in
most of
I would
them.
say 80%.
Well, he's in all the early ones.
Yeah.
Why can I not?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. There's other actors throughout this whole movie that have been in the last Spike Lee movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, because they leave the initiation to go do this thing with Connie. But remember that guy was almost going to like turn flip because he's like, that's the cop that put me away.
Yes. All right. Actually, there's a thing I wanted to say to you earlier. Do you think that there was a cop who actually works within the police department that basically wanted to undercover Ron and then sent him there and put him on this thing? Because it's like, why would it makes no logistical sense to put Ron on that detail on.
Yeah, I mean, they alluded that it might have been Landers in this movie who suggested him to the chief. Because, I mean, just the irony of, like, having David Duke being guarded by the only black officer in your department is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Why even set up anyone for that discovery?
Yeah.
And so for Grace's face when he sees one, was just like, because he wears the most, like, jive outfit possible. It's such a great scene.
Nicholas Tutorial.
Nicholas Tutorial. Oh, yeah, he's John Tutorial's brother, I think. Yeah. Got it. Makes a lot of sense. But my whole thing was, in real life, because that did happen in real life, he probably was being set up.
Yeah.
Because there's no way, like, I have to communicate with this dude. I've been talking to him on the phone. Because that's what Adam Driver says. Like, this guy's been fucking talking to me on the phone. What if he recognizes your voice?
Yeah.
And the chief is like, well,
well, you
Ron's
said
only-
that you could change. Yeah.
You could speak between Jive and White.
Yeah.
You could be two Ron Star Wars if need be. Yeah, it's just fucking wild.
Yeah, dude. Like that is just like. Well, I'm just like, are you fucking serious?
The imagery of
You're
him
trying to get him killed.
The imagery of him watching, sneaking in to watch the ceremony, and them cheering on Birth of a Nation was just chilling. I was just and seeing his afro and stuff, and then they end up getting Landers because they set him up for like a bust where he admits to harassing Patrice and Kwame Ture and stuff, and they also said earlier that he had killed a black kid, saying that he had a gun, but he clearly didn't.
Yeah,
and Adam Driver's like, we let him. He's still a cop because we're brothers.
Yeah, which like I was talking about with the dude I know, was like, yeah, still going on.
And that's the thing too. It made this whole situation like you could tell like this is Adam Driver's character Flip, right? He has a whole monologue about like I never even really practiced the idea of being Jewish, like Judaism. Yeah. But this whole thing has got me. All I think about is being Jewish, because they had me hating that part of me so much.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean,
they almost have him do that Jew test. The
polygraph.
Polygraph test, which is crazy. That was an intense scene when Felix has the gun to him.
Yeah.
And it's like, you gonna take this, and he's like, oh, take out your dick because Jews do weird things that are dicks. And Adam Driver's like,
if he's
just circumcised,
circumcised,
he's like, what are you talking like? And that's the plus side is that Adam Driver's character is always smarter than Felix, so he was able to belittle Felix where Felix would would shut down a little bit because he's like, fuck, he's getting me, so I'm just gonna keep trying to say something stupider.
Yeah. I'm gonna be smart too. See some wild shit.
Yeah, that was weird. But the actors were great in that scene.
Yeah,
like
those scenes between Adam Driver and fucking Jasper, those are really fucking intense. Yeah. Even when he was when Jasper kind of like accepted him, it's like, oh, they're on that side.
And then he finds out, as soon as he finds out from Tutorial, like you just see the switch flip.
And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna get that motherfucker. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah. You know they were gonna do some bad things then once they were able to get him out of David Duke's eye.
Especially when he's just like, that's Zimmerman. Zimmerman is just like, isn't that a Jewish name? He's like, yeah, a lot of them changed their names from da-da-da-da-da. It's just like, he's like, oh boy.
Yeah, because at first it just seems like he thinks that he just changed his name from being a Jew, right? So he's already infuriated about that. But then he's like, oh, it's like Ron Stallworth, and then how did he connect that Ron Stallworth was that the black guy was the cop?
Because he went to his house.
That's right. And he was like, that guy's a cop. And that's right, because he said Zimmerman was a cop.
Yeah.
And so he just puts two and two together, like, these are both fucking cops.
Yeah, and he's here.
It's a great
he's,
scene.
Yeah, he's here not protecting Duke. He's here to protect him.
Yeah, great scene.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So
Even though Ron should not have had that shit sent to his fucking house.
Oh no.
Terrible idea.
Well, he goes to Ron Stallworth's house because he looks him up in the phone book, and that's
Yeah.
the address. So he pops up at Denzel's son's house. It's like, holy shit.
And fucking the chick is in there.
Oh, yeah,
at the
yeah.
same time. It's just like
He gets like crazy eyes. Yeah, and then like that's when. Do you think when Zimmerman tells him when he asks when Felix asks Zimmerman like where he lives, like for like that Ron Stallworth?
Yeah.
Do you think that was actually his house address, or do you think he just made up the street? Because he's like, oh, go check it out. Like that's where I live. I live in 21st Street. Or whatever.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
It might have been because remember he says he doesn't really have, besides the star of David, he didn't really have much
yeah, but
Jewish stuff around.
well, and not even that. I think like don't sometimes when somebody's under, you know, going undercover stuff like that, they put them up in another, place and all
Yeah,
that
they
kind
don't
of
really go
shit.
into detail about that.
Yeah, no, I know. I think that's a thing.
Got it.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, like I said, they bust Landers on like this random, bust that they do undercover with all the cops at the diner, and he's with Patrice and stuff. And then they have a scene where Patrice is pretty much like, "I can't be with you because you still want to be a cop," even though they told him to shut down the operation, to destroy all evidence because there don't want any records of this happened.
Yeah.
And then he calls David Duke to reveal that he's a black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is a great scene. But then there's like the usual Spike Lee, long
The one shot. Yep.
and there's a cross burning, and then we go into the saddest closing monologue, like not monologue, montage ever, where it's just like you see these KKK members, they're burning across, throwing their sticks, their fire sticks,
They're
torches,
fucking
torches.
tiki torches,
Yeah, and
basically.
then we cut their footage of Charlottesville,
Yeah.
and
then
all that
David Duke
Yeah.
today still doing the fucking
Yeah.
things that he's doing and talking his
the
shit.
Trump, good people on both sides.
See, now the thing that I know, I think I may have said this on the show before, but like I was actually in Charlottesville a week after that happened. So like it was obviously I did not want to be there. I'm just like so that happened, and then I realized, oh, we're literally going to be inside fucking Charlottesville, and like I had a talk with fucking the bosses. I'm just like, I don't know if this is a good idea because we have 3 black people working this tour, and we're literally going into this place where this shit just happened last week.
Yeah.
And they were just like, well, we're already signed up for this thing. Obviously, they didn't give a fuck. That's what I was touring with. So, even though like one of the people that I worked with was a fucking psychopath, and I did like we had kind of a little talk about like, hey, we need to all be vigilant and watching each other's backs while we're out here. Got there, ran into nothing but the nicest people, which is funny though because people kept on coming up to me and saying, hey, I want to let you know that I know you're not from around here, but like that's not Charlottesville. Yeah, that's not Charlottesville. All those people that came in here are all from fucking Ohio and yada yada yada. Which I will say, after spending a lot of time in Ohio last summer, I totally believe him because fucked up shit happens in Ohio. Yeah. But we kept on saying like this, like that's our town. Like we're like a small town, and like there's diversity here, and everybody's and we've never had any problems. It's just that whole statute thing. It's like and they just descended upon the city and caused all this trouble. And it's like and everyone talks about our town now. Like we're now a beacon of hate, which is not the case. And it's just like really fucking like I felt for those people. But then again, at the same point, I finished the show and I'm hanging out on like the roof of our little structure thing, and this guy who was in my show came up, started talking to me, and it was just like, as a black man, what do you feel about the whole statue thing? I was like, oh my God, like.
I just want to sell cars.
No. This was I was doing a game show.
Oh,
I
Jesus
was on
Christ,
Ikea.
it's
Yeah,
even worse.
yeah.
I'm just trying to be a coon for this money, bro.
How dare you, sir? You do it too. You would all, yeah, you would. Yeah, you would. If you were getting paid, you do it too.
I'm getting paid. I don't
If-
do that.
If somebody said, hey man, you want to travel around the country and just fucking do a bullshit game show for a paycheck?
No, because I heard your voice, nigga.
Exactly. But that's because that's the one afterwards. You'd have done it.
No.
Yes, you would have.
I got a few quick trivia things for you. David Duke did not discover that Ron Stallworth was a black man until 2006 when a Miami Herald reporter contacted him for his side of the story. Because it was such an incredible story that they were like, this is bullshit.
Yeah.
Let me call David Duke. Because Ron Stallworth still has his KKK membership badge signed by David Duke.
Wow.
And then contrary to popular belief, the real Ron Stallworth never used a white voice on the phone. He ironically had to use his real voice or they would have caught him if he slipped out of character. When his white colleagues told him it could not work, he asked what made his voice any different from theirs, but they never answered. So yeah, we get the montage of Trump, and then upside down black and white flag.
Yeah.
Yep, because the world is upside down right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the theater was silent,
Now,
deafening.
when have you read any Facebook backlash over this film and shit like that?
I mean, I just heard about Boots Riley from Sorry to Bother You, just going in on Spike Lee about this movie, about how he feels like it's like a propaganda for him, like police officers, and took too many liberties with the story and stuff like that. Why?
So I know some people who were just like, this is the most racist thing that Spike Lee's ever done. This is trash. It's dividing our country even more. But it was kind of like,
who are these people?
huh?
What kind of people are these?
Yeah. And I was kind of looked at him and was like, but at the same time, this is based off of like an actual story.
Yeah.
This this Spike Lee didn't make this shit up. Like, this is real shit.
Also, have these people ever seen a Spike Lee movie?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
I remember 25th Hour, I'm just trying to watch a movie about her brother who's about to go to jail. And then Edward Norton has a monologue in the bathroom where he just says every derogatory word known to man in a mirror to himself. I was just like, whoa.
It's like Spike Lee's just like, yeah, this is a good movie, It's like, all right, my dick's not getting hard. Put some racism.
Yeah.
Well, and you know what? I will say, like, I know I've been very critical of Spike Lee's work over the last few years, especially us reviewing, his movies and things like that. But, like, you didn't see a lot of the old fucking Spike Lee in this film. The stuff that makes me cringe. You know what I'm saying? That outdated stuff. He kind of handled this movie and handled his, and handled the stuff with like a lot of grace. Yeah. And he really, he didn't phone it in.
There's some weird transitions here and there, like with the fade outs and stuff like that. And there's like some weird pauses. And John David Washington could have been a little bit. They could have maybe gotten another actor.
Yeah.
But in regards to him directing, phenomenal. Especially with the actors that played the Klansmen.
Yeah.
I completely bought that whole world and like their relationships with each other and their beliefs and stuff. I completely got it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he did a really good job. And you pointed out in a group chat we had that it's probably the reason why you probably like this is because Spike Lee didn't write it.
Yes. Yeah. Spike Lee didn't write it. I mean, Spike is,
So maybe he just has to do more projects where he doesn't write them, so he can't have a heavy hand.
Yeah.
Like, he just does what he does best, which is shoot the shit out of an awesome story.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of his. He goes a little too hard in the paint sometimes, and it kind of murkies the water, and the real vision just gets lost in just a stream of fucking Spike Lee consciousness. That's just like, nah, dude, you got to cut a lot of this shit out.
Sometimes you go really hard in the P. And then you just go, okay, let's rate this bad boy. Justin, keep breaking down our rating system. Oh man, I didn't mean that.
Oh god, guys, we rate movies.
I might have Tourette's.
your sexual Tourette's.
Oh my god.
We
That's
have
the worst kind of Tourette's.
We have we rate movies. You know, bags of popcorn, small, medium, large, XL for the exceptional. I know, I'm fucking losing my shit right now. But if you don't believe a movie that even deserves a bag of popcorn, you can throw it into the dog shit pile. Fuck, I can't talk anymore.
Oh,
The dog shit
It's
part.
been a long day,
It really
It's
has.
been a long day.
So Brandon, we just watched Black Klansman. What say you, sir?
I'm gonna give it a large. Easily top 5 movies I've seen this year.
Yep.
Hopefully it stays in the top 5, but
Mm.
I was floored by how much I really like this movie. The last 5 minutes, again, are just like they kick you in the dick. You're just like, Jesus Christ.
Your whole dick just falls out.
Yeah, because you're just like, oh no, we're not better.
I'm also going to give this a large as well, and I would say of Spike Lee movies, there's and in no particular order. He Got Game, Malcolm X, fucking, and this movie. They're all sitting on towel. No, He Got Game's not.
Yeah, do the right thing, bro.
Yeah,
Do the right thing.
Well, I said no particular order. So, like, you of course, Do the Right Thing is in there. There's another movie that's fucking Spike did, which is on there. For some reason, I just can't fucking put my finger on it.
Just gotta have it.
No.
School days.
Whatever.
Drill 6.
No.
The
Either
one where
way,
Anthony Mackie fucks all the girls. The one where Anthony Mackie fucks all those women.
I didn't see that movie, but
I saw that plenty of times. That is a weird ass movie, but great.
Yeah. So, like, I'm gonna definitely give this a large movie, and again, this is one of my favorite Spike Lee movies.
So,
Yeah.
Justin, how can people follow you, man?
Guys, you can follow me at JBrownDidIt on Twitter and Instagram, and Brandon.
Y'all can follow me at American Counts, AmericanCounts.com. I got a new show starting up in New York City on Monday, September 17th, 8 p.m. show. It's going to be a dope lineup. $5 tickets. It'll be a lot of fun at the Davenport Theater in Hell's Kitchen. Get tickets at AmericanCounts.com. And you can follow Medium Popcorn and Medium P Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and at your mama's house because she's listening on Alexa because we're on Spotify now. That's right. And also sign up for Patreon.
Yes.
Because we're going to only have the last 15 episodes up on iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic except soon. Because Podomatic is trying to take our babies.
Yeah, they're really trying to take every goddamn last dime in our pocket.
All those archived episodes will be under Patreon in the $2 package. For some people it might be a lot, but it helps us with the show.
Mm-hmm.
And also you get our archived episodes. You also get access to live streams and all the other bonus content like rants. Justin's got a rant coming out soon. All this cool stuff. Yeah. Or you can leave us a 5-star review because that makes me feel very healthy and firm.
Yes, and Brandon the top
Busting
that'll
my
help.
cleats.
To your cleats?
My pleats.
No, did you just say your cleats? Is your dick in your shoe, nigga? And why are you wearing cleats? Or do you just walk around grass all day, huh? You need to make some quick cuts?
You can leave us a voicemail at 347
You're out of your fucking mind.
5080
Jesus Christ, Brandon.
Once again, that's 347 5080 Make sure you tweet at us. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend about this show. We're trying to make things happen, baby.
Please, tell a friend so then Brandon can get something to fucking make his dick work other than cleats and 5-star reviews.
And folks, thank you for those of you that are watching on live stream. We really appreciate you. Thank you, Craig Lindsay, Jerry Franchise, Andre Shankill. Thank you for checking us out.
Craig Lindsay, we got all. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I realized the first one was
That's why you
you.
can't do shows with
No, I realized the first one was you.
I could have done the show with a young 20s person.
No, you
Instead,
can't.
I had to pick a
No, you
late
can't.
60s motherfucker.
You know what, Brandon? You know what's funny? But you look older than me. How the fuck do you look older than me,
Because
Brandon?
I've seen the world.
Yeah, because you've seen the world.
All right, folks. We hold you. We love you. We rub our nipples. I just completely butchered this. Justin, take the wheel.
Jesus Christ.
All right, folks.
Peace.